Welcome back to the Zach Djellab YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Friday feels, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that good stuff. When this goes out, actually, it won't be New Year yet, so a couple more days, but I hope you had all the presents that you were hoping for. Henry Hill, did you get your presents?
Oh, yeah. No, I did actually. Well, the problem is, because my birthday's in November, I get quite a lot of presents then, and then my mum's immediately like, what do you want for Christmas? And I have no idea.
Well, there's nothing you want at the moment.
God, just money. Give me money. Someone.
Okay.
When's your birthday?
Mid-November, 15th.
Doesn't want to tell us. Okay, mid-November, sure. Okay. No, I get the same thing. Like, my wife's birthday is like at the end of November. I use up all my ideas, and then it's like, Christmas is a month away. And I was like, let's buy something together.
Yeah. Nice.
What are you after for Christmas, Pat, this year?
Just like a bit of childcare, probably. Like, just like a little bit of time away.
I'll give you a free hour.
No, you're all right.
Okay.
Like, you don't need to do that.
Okay. Well,
like, I don't know. I want 10 days off from talking about football, honestly. I'll watch some football and not talk about it. Imagine such a thing.
Well, there we have it. What do I want? I want you guys to subscribe. That is my Christmas present that I want. So make sure you do that by clicking the big red button if you haven't already. I've been doing this for a long time, so I can't complain at that. Okay, Patrick, the way this is going to work, I don't know why I singled you out there specifically, but I am. As you can see by the title of this video, we're going to go through every single club and talk about one transfer they need to bring in January.
Let's go.
Now, Patrick Van Straaten is going to be the sporting director, the manager, you name it, chairman, CEO of every single one of these clubs. We are basically the Saudi Super League, where the government own all the clubs, 8 of the clubs. You are that person, Patrick, and you're going to be signing off.
Mohammed bin Salman.
For sure. Signing off one transfer only for every club. Me and Henry are going to pitch you a transfer each for every club, and then you give us the yes or the no, as they do in Gladiators.
Can't wait till we get to some of these clubs.
Honestly,
just sign anyone. Don't know.
This has been a real throwback for me. I've been scouring Europe, Championship, everywhere, trying to find players to impress Patrick.
I've gone for the Championship a few times.
This has been exciting.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited then. So I do think that this is like the heart of what we do.
Yeah.
Where I think people want to hear about players that like they don't know who might end up being stars. Like, that is the most exciting thing, right?
Kicking it off with kick things off with Brentford, Pat. That's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with Brentford. I did it again in the random generator. Brentford is the first club we're going to talk about. Henry, do you want to take the lead?
Yeah, I'm going to be concise because there are 40 players we're going to be talking about today. I'm not messing around here.
We do.
Right, I think they need to get a midfielder in
Agreed.
to bolster that midfield. I want Thomas Frank to give Dewsbury Hall a loving arm for a 6-month loan. I think that would be a really good shout. He's not getting any moments outside the Conference League at Chelsea. He's a goal-scoring midfielder, which I think they need. I think he's got great potential in there. Yeah, I'm not going to go into stats because he's hardly played at all this season. But the jump from a good Leicester side in the Championship to Chelsea clearly hasn't worked this season. Go give him some game time. You've got the youngsters on the bench at Chelsea to accommodate that. Brentford are a great team to go play for. We saw what they did for Christian Eriksen. Dewsbury Hall, go and snap him up on a 6-month loan. I don't think there's much else to say really. Good play.
I like that. You're going to have to go
Good
some to beat
start.
that.
Good start. I mean, he was one of the best players in the Championship last season, so definitely should be playing. That's for sure. I've gone for someone who they actually tried to get in the summer. But didn't manage to. Morten Frendrup at Genoa. Obviously plays in midfield, but can also play at fullback as well. They did try to look at him in the summer. So did Liverpool and so did Brighton as well. But Genoa priced him out of a move. However, now where we are in January, apparently Genoa are up for selling.
Well, they have to. They've got no money.
Exactly. And around £12 million is what they're looking at.
I've got him for a different team.
That might happen a few times.
I don't really know much about the player. Like, what does he excel at?
So he's a very good defensive player, basically. He's top 3% for tackles in Europe. He is still very young at 23 years old. He's Danish. So I do think he won the Danish Super League with Brøndby a couple of seasons back when he was a little bit younger. And so I actually think there's someone that probably
He's
Thomas
a
Frank...
ball-winning monster.
Yeah, it's someone that I think Thomas Frank actually might know a little bit of as well. And Brentford are looking at him.
And he's playing in a proper league. He's playing in a proper league. So, okay, Genoa, money troubles. What do you think we can get him for?
I think literally 12 million is supposedly the fee.
Yeah, that is technically true.
I'm going to go with him there just because I think that Norgard is such a huge problem for them in the sense that, when he's missing, they are crap. They do need someone in there. But that said, if Dewsbury Hall is alone, I honestly don't
do
see.
both.
I don't see any reason why they couldn't do both.
I
think they should try and do both.
I had him for a better team because apparently AC Milan are looking at him very seriously.
Liverpool-
I have him
Liverpool
for
are
a better
genuinely up for him
team
as well.
AC Milan
than
just
Brentford.
signed for Fofana. Like, what do they need?
Well, apparently they feel like they need more midfielders.
All right. Well, look, if Brentford can get him, Brentford should get him. If he ends up going somewhere else, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But like to me, that is such a glaring weakness in their side that I go for him.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be moving this January at some point. Like, you know, we're desperate for money. Okay.
Yeah, they're one of those clubs like Lyon where you should definitely be looking at their
my
players.
God, Leon have a few players, that's for sure. Southampton is our next one. And to be quite honest, where do you start? I mean, they're still after a new manager. They're looking at Carlos Corberán at the moment, which I think would be quite a good appointment, especially if they were to go back down. Like, he's someone that kind of has done pretty well in that league with West Brom, just missing out on the playoffs.
But they've been trying to get Danny Rule, like
to be fair,
your man from Sheffield Wednesday, right?
they're after a few, aren't they? There's talks about a few different managers, but they've got the second worst defence in the league and the worst attack in the league. So they kind of need things all over the place, I think. However, I'm going to suggest someone. I kind of think, unless a miracle happens, Southampton aren't staying up. And so going to any player and pitching them, hey, do you want to come play for Southampton and like maybe for 6 months be in the Premier League? I don't think it's going to quite be an easy pitch to people. So I've gone for a Championship player already, currently playing at Middlesbrough, Finn Zaz. He joined them permanently last season after a decent loan move from Plymouth. He was an Aston Villa player, now at Middlesbrough. 6 goals and 8 assists so far in the Championship already. He's an attacking midfielder who can play on the left wing as well if needed. He had a really good, as I said, first half of the campaign last year for Plymouth before moving over to Middlesbrough. So he's been at Middlesbrough literally for a year now. Again, I don't think it's going to be a super expensive fee. And I think this is something he would look at as, okay, cool, I can get experience playing in the Premier League for at least 6 months. And then if Southampton get demoted, he is one of the best players in the Championship right now. And so I think like it's something where Southampton would be building their squad to at least have another chance of getting back promoted again if they brought him in.
I like that dual threat. I like that he's got like decent number of goals, decent number of assists. What was the age again?
He's like 23.
Yeah, young Irish man.
Yeah, that's kind of fine with me. He's also got his name has star quality,
Finn
which
Zaz.
I like, and he's paying for I think a smart coach.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's positive. Who have you got for Southampton? Because to be honest with you, if Southampton's path to staying up is very narrow, and I think changing the manager, you would hope, improves the squad by itself.
Well, Zach pointed out, he's gone to fix the attack. I've gone to fix the defence.
Okay.
Again, I've gone into the Championship to try and do that. Ben Cabango of Swansea, the Welsh international centre-half there. His contract expires at the end of the season. They're desperate to keep hold of him. He's made like 180 league appearances for Swansea at this point. He's still really young. 6'1" defender, 7.4 clearances per 90. So it just shows that he's really solid in and around the box. Bednarek needs to go. They need to freshen up. They need to freshen up the centre-half slots next to Harwood Bellis, who may go as well next year. Cabango needs to step up. They could get him very cheaply, and I think it's a smart move to test him out in the Premier League now, then maybe run him back in the Championship for another promotion push next year. But yeah, he's been really highly rated for a very long time. Has played under some good managers at Swansea. I think Russell Martin would have managed him for a bit as well. So he would know the kind of system that he's walking into. He's much better than Swansea. It's just because he's like a local boy. I think he's stayed there for a bit longer than he has. So yeah, I think Ben Cabango, really young, 24 years old. Get him on the cheap, upgrade that defence instantly.
I guess it lies where you think the biggest issue is, right? Maybe.
Well, I think relegation is pretty likely. Okay. So in all honesty, I kind of lean towards Azaz because I think there's an opportunity to get him now while you're in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Whereas at the end
this
of the
guy's
season,
easier to get hold of.
But this guy also is going to be available on a free at the end of the season. You said, right?
Yeah, but I mean, what's £5 million to Swansea?
Yeah, but I don't think it makes a difference. Like that's the thing. I think upgrading your centre back rarely makes the difference in keeping you up. And I think you could still pick him up at the end of the season. Whereas at the end of the season, there might be other teams who are in for Azaz, and maybe you can just like get him now. He's going to cost more, but I don't know. That's what I go for.
Wow.
I'll take that. I'll happily take that.
Henry's already angry.
Henry's angry. Yeah.
I don't agree with that
Henry.
one. I think that's just wrong.
care.
They're not going to be able to sign him from Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough are pushing for promotion. There's no way.
Yeah,
but
I
if they
think that's
can
the
get
thing.
him,
The
they get him.
fee is what's going to be interesting there. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's a biting point here. If that fee gets too high, then sure, I'll go Cabango. But like, I don't know. We'll see.
It's a fairly uninspiring selection of players for that one.
But they're, mate, I think Southampton fans must be thinking, what on earth are we going to do?
They should have sacked their manager 2 months ago.
Genuinely. At least they might have had a better chance. And did you see...
Because I don't think the squad is like that much worse than the others.
It was mental, like the Spurs, what he did in Spurs. Like, they were 4-0 down. He leaves to go into the dressing room. They concede another goal before he's even in there. And then I actually thought his post-match wasn't too bad in the fact that he spoke about basically people saying, you've got to completely change your style. And he was like, that's not really what I think is a viable option. And he was saying, maybe me just changing the way my centre-back or the way the front three press is a change in system. But because you guys haven't noticed that, then like,
I'm sorry, but that's simply not true. Like, they tried to play a heavy possession style. They did not have the players for it. They wanted to defend with the ball, and they also couldn't do that. There have been teams who've come up to the Premier League and have done that. You know, like the first one I really remember is like Rogers Swansea. They did that. Like, they never looked like they had the material to do this. And actually defending and counter-attacking can get you more goals. Like it feels like that's more defensive, but they weren't scoring many goals anyway. So like I just don't really see the argument.
But also, like,
I actually think that Russell Martin, the way he's conducted himself in that job, I think it makes him much less likely to get a job that he presumably was angling for. Yeah. Like when people have said, "Oh, you know, he's angling for a big job," it's like, well, he's never going to get it because he's not Vincent Kompany, and also they've been crap. But also the way he's kind of behaved in that job, the way he's talked.
Yeah,
I would say I don't want this guy. Like, he sounds like an idiot. He's talked like an idiot.
It's been very, very interesting. Like, even I think sometimes the idea of adapting your philosophy is made out to be a really, I don't know. At least with him, I guess he made it out to be a really mental thing. Whereas look at someone like Thomas Frank, like Brentford in the Championship were all about possession, and now they've adapted, and look where they are in the Premier League.
Right,
but
moving on.
That's for a different thing.
Moving on.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay,
Tottenham
bingo,
Hotspur.
bango.
Oh, I had Frendrup for Tottenham, so I don't really. I thought Basuma's not really doing it. They need more bodies in that midfield, and Frendrup would actually just get the ball back and knock it up forward. I think he's better than Brentford's.
How good a passer is he?
He's a good passer. He's. I went to the Genoa fan club in London to watch a Genoa game, and they were raving about Genoa. They said, "Do you know about him?" And
Terrible.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I found Tottenham quite hard, really.
But they mainly need cover and a DM. Like, otherwise, it's like looking for a cover centre back, a cover goalkeeper.
When all their players are fit,
It was about Skriniar.
When all their players are fit, they suddenly look all right. Yeah. But it's just seems to be an impossible challenge to get them fit again.
But DM is probably the position where they could get a starter.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Frendrup would be good for.
Because I thought the same. And he's only moved like 4 or 5 months ago, but it's not going well for Douglas Luiz at Juventus.
Yeah, you know what? I do think about a loan move for Luiz as well.
And so I went to the suggestion. He started 2 games so far this season. He's been placed on a personal training program to aid his development. He's been taken out of the cup team.
The cup team, yeah.
And so I was thinking, look, Juventus paid £43 million pounds for him. If Spurs went in there and say, look, we'll take him off your hands, 35 million. I wonder. Or at worst, a loan with an option too. And Spurs and Juventus have had several dealings over the years. We've seen Kulusevski join. We've seen Bentancur join. That probably was with, what's his face? Yeah, when he was there. But still, they have links to Juventus. I see Douglas Luiz. I know you're maybe not... I think you appreciate him.
I hate him.
But you think he got overpraised.
I hate him. Like... he's fine. He's like an okay passing midfielder. He's a pretty bad defender, in my opinion. Well, not in my opinion, like in the stats, in the eye test and everything. But like, he is a more reliable passer than a load of those guys, and maybe you could pay 2 men. I think the thing about Frendrup for Spurs, he'd be good, but they did get Bergwijn, who they kind of want to...
He's 18.
But their idea was like...
They got to use these guys.
But their idea was like, this is a guy who's going to be... who's like a kind of... a prospect. A prospect we're going to gamble on this position. So if they were going to sign somebody else there, I'd kind of want them to sign a more experienced, like, ready-to-go player. And maybe Frendrup's that, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, I've already said Frendrup for Brentford, so I think I've got to go Douglas Luiz here. But honestly, like...
Makes you sad, that, doesn't it?
Douglas Luiz he's just not very good. He's not very good, and he has shown himself to be not very good.
But if you're paying under 40 million for him, do you not think that's actually not too bad?
Loan.
Loan
I'd loan
option,
him.
okay.
Loan him. Like, there's absolutely no cost to loaning him.
Yeah,
Just loan him.
that is very, very true. Especially if he's literally not.
If they loan him and he's
UAC.
great, then like by all means, like sign him
crazy.
on a permanent. But no.
Okay, from one North London club to another, we're talking about Arsenal here, Henry.
The Arsenal.
The Arsenal, the Gunners.
I'm going to go 4-0 down here. You're going to hate this.
I don't know, mate. I don't think Pat's going to like mine.
Go for Marcus Rashford. Honestly. Yeah! Upgrade that left wing. Shartanelli, get him out. Rashford is there. He said he wants a new challenge. He's better one-on-one than Martinelli. He can play through the middle as well, if necessary, which is important. 40 million. Cancel that Sterling.
I feel like 6 months ago, Pat, you would have been more up for this.
No, I would not have been up for this. Like, the injury problems have been bad, and also like last season, he wasn't very good. His one-on-one ability is terrible and has been getting worse over the course of his career.
He's good.
His last
I think he just needs a fresh
months have
coach.
been really bad. I agree.
Coach.
There's still a player there. I just think he's a horrible fit for Arsenal. I think there are probably teams I think who could really get benefit out of him. You know, like I would love for him to go to a club who play with like a really unconventional attacking style, like Brentford or like
he's not going to go to Brentford,
Atalanta or something.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. But no, he's not good enough. Like if the fact that you think he might be good, he's not good enough for Man United, but he might be good enough for Arsenal.
I don't think he's not.
Kind of ludicrous.
I don't think he's not good enough for Manchester United. Mm-hmm. I think he is good enough for Manchester United. I just don't think that he wants to play there anymore.
The Man United and Rashford story seems like it's done, isn't it?
Undeniably, Pat, when he's on, he's on. I don't care. He's a great player.
But the issue
he does get injured a lot, and like the last 18 months, he's been very, very, very bad.
Well, then it's good. It's more squad competition in a good team.
Well, it isn't because he isn't good. Like you can have like that's like saying Fabio Vieira was squad competition for Odegaard last season. Well, in real terms, he wasn't because nobody trusted him.
Rashford has a much bigger profile and has achieved a lot more than Fabio Vieira.
But he has a bigger wage packet.
But the issue is those are things with Rashford. What's going to be interesting is Rashford, if he wants to stay on the same wages,
he's not going to.
But if he isn't, then fair play. But he could be open to a few different moves.
Like, realistically,
I could see a Spurs or something more. Like I don't think Spurs are going to make the Timo Werner thing permanent.
Oh, Werner's so bad, man.
But you can imagine Rashford in that role. Like
yes,
that to me kind of makes more sense. If you're both saying Rashford,
I was going to suggest Rashford. Yes.
Okay, Arsenal to sign no one in January. Decision made. Moving on. Who's next? I'm not joking.
Marcus Rashford. I mean, it looks like he might be going.
I like the player, but he is no longer at that level.
We'll quickly hang on to the Rashford situation, just really quickly, because how do you feel about Amorim and how he's dealt with it?
I think it's good. It's Amorim's in charge. He has nothing to prove to Rashford. If he doesn't fit his system, like Rashford's had so many chances at this point. Again, when he's on form, some of his finishing is amazing. I still would have taken him to the Euros just because he's one of the few players I trust to come off the bench and actually step up and do something. Because when he wants to do it, he really can. Like I really do like Marcus Rashford, the player. I like the fact that Rashford's trying to own the situation, coming out and saying, no bad blood against Manchester United. Maybe I need a fresh challenge. Hearing him say that is a good
against Spurs again. Garnacho's back in the squad.
Hearing him say that, he clearly just needs. He'll take a drop in wages because he's earning too much anyway. He's been on a golden wage packet anyway. There's not really many clubs you can go in for him. PSG,
Saudi,
maybe like Atletico, rumored for him. Yeah, Saudi. Could Juventus do with him as well?
I think his next move would say a lot about where he sits. Like for instance, if Rashford moves to Saudi.
He's not going to
shows you what he's after, basically.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
well, not necessarily. I mean, like you don't have that much choice necessarily. But like, he definitely should not go to Saudi.
If he's willing to drop his wage, I think a bunch more clubs get involved. Loads more clubs get involved.
Well, I think he will because like he's already come out and said like, I want to move on.
Yeah.
If he wanted to kind of play hardball over his salary, he wouldn't say that because if he's got any agent worth their salt, then they'll have said to him like, Marcus, the majority of clubs in the Premier League cannot pay what you're earning and they will not pay what you're earning. So like your best case scenario might be like 120k from like West Ham rather than like
or Spurs
200k. Like that's not happening.
I actually wouldn't mind it. I think a Spurs move could be quite interesting, you know.
To me there's a place for him there. Like that left wing slot, Son is aging. Son should age into more of a centre forward or really just age into more part-time minutes.
Yeah.
They don't want to keep Werner permanently. Rashford is quite a good option for them.
A move out of England as well, you know, might be quite nice.
Oh yeah, Italy would be perfect for him, I think.
Inter. A little Inter. But anyway,
Athletic.
okay. Over Atleti would be very interesting, actually. Who's on the left wing at the moment for Atleti?
They were
obviously playing.
Well, Gallagher plays there sometimes now. They sort of play all over.
They've also got Alvarez, who kind of wants to play where Rashford wants to play.
I don't think Rashford works hard enough for a Simeone system.
No, I agree.
True, that would be very interesting how that worked out. Okay, then from another Arsenal to another London club, West Ham. I've got here, and I don't mind leading this off because there are definitely a couple of.
You could give me almost any position,
literally,
and I'd be okay.
It could be a midfielder, it could be a forward, it could be a defender,
manager.
It could be a manager, that's for sure. I'm going to go with a forward.
Yep.
More specifically, a striker. Obviously, the Antonio situation is awful, and now he's not going to be back for a long, long time. Fulkrug exists.
I scored the other day.
He did score the other day, but still not amazing. And so I've said and suggested a loan move for Evan Ferguson. Obviously, up top, he's only started 2 games so far for Brighton. Apparently, other clubs are interested about him. His most recent game was against Leicester. And we know there's a player in Evan Ferguson.
Yeah.
We know there is someone who has that potential to be like. We weren't stupid when people were talking about these huge figures around him. He has had injury issues, and I think in a system that West Ham, or at least at the moment, Lopetegui is trying to play, Ferguson might be very beneficial to that. Has some very good and fun attacking players around him. And a loan move, I don't know if they would give them an option. They might give them an option or obligation, but it might be high fee. But I think a loan move for Ferguson could be very, very strong.
Imagine if Ferguson, Kudus, Somerville, Paqueta attack.
I have Ferguson going to a different team. Okay. I thought that as a profile of player, you want something slightly different from Fulkrug, and I was looking at a player that would maybe fill the voids that Antonio's left behind. I've also gone for a punchy loan move for Randall Kolo Muani from PSG. He's not playing 358 minutes in Ligue 1 this season. I mean,
he's definitely on the move.
He needs to move. He's much quicker than Ferguson. He can sprint. He can drop wide. I think he can carry the ball much better. There's a reason he was playing for France in a World Cup final. Like, there is a great striker in there. There's a reason that PSG paid as much money as they did.
They did overpay. He wasn't.
Yeah, I know, but he's still
better than this.
He's very, very good.
He was very good at Frankfurt.
He's very good at Frankfurt. I think he needs a loan to reinvigorate his career, and I think. Again, I did look at Ferguson, but I think Kolo Muani is a slightly different profile of striker, which West Ham could use. And he's a top forward. If you got a good loan out of him, West Ham, they're the kind of club that will pay 40, 50 million for a striker if push comes to shove.
Can he play on the wing as well?
Yes,
he can play out wide.
At Frankfurt, he was quite often sort of playing off the left. You would see him dropping out to the left. Like, he's not a conventional centre forward at all. Like, he's more of a hybrid left wing forward guy.
And if they ended up getting someone like Graham Potter in eventually as well, like he could have.
Yeah, I think Kolo Muani is a cool signing for West Ham, and he fits more of the things they need, in my opinion.
Evan Ferguson, Kolo Muani.
I have Evan Ferguson going somewhere else.
And it'll be pointless as well because West Ham's striker curse will just ruin them both.
I really like Evan Ferguson.
He is still young and he is still very.
No. My issue with him isn't like his quality or anything. I don't need to be convinced of that. It's just that I think Kolo Muani has the ability to. Ferguson needs service in a way that I think Kolo Muani doesn't quite. Like, Kolo Muani, because he's also a runner and he's also got a history of like chance creation, I do think that Kolo Muani is more likely to create something out of nothing for that team. Whereas Evan Ferguson, he's the kind of player who, like, if you have him up front, he's just not getting service all game. Like, you will not get that much change out of him. I also think Kolo Muani came out of like a pressing side at Frankfurt, and they need to kind of upgrade the pressing ability of their front line in order to look less defensively suspect. Kolo Muani is linked with bigger clubs, but if none of those jump for him, and you can get him with like a loan to buy, and the buy is like 40 to 50 mil, and some like 40 mil ideally, I think that would actually be a really, really good deal for them.
No, I think it's a good suggestion, Henry. I have to say, I'm more than happy for you to take that one.
I'm not sure they could get him, but if they did, it would be fantastic.
They managed to West Ham.
They've got the money.
Get players like when they signed Paqueta, they had no right to kind of go and do that. They're like, because they have lots of money. Even this summer, like, they hijacked a Juventus meal for Todibo. They're like they have like a weird ability to sign players.
Juventus is just like fucking.
Our next one, guys. Our next one, Henry, you might enjoy this. Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Okay. thought it was going to be Fulham.
Oh, well, that was a little bit later.
honestly,
What other
Obviously,
shit? What
Fulham-
other shit are Arsenal getting rid of? That's who Fulham will sign in January.
All right.
Carl Jenkinson, get him in.
To be honest, Wolves.
Johan Juru.
Wolves, I've gone for a punchy suggestion for you guys.
Ooh, because couldn't you? How
you been
did Cunha
beefing
just
with
get?
West Ham fans?
How did Cunha
Wolves,
just get a
Wolves.
3-match ban? By the way, it's
Same.
the guy
Gosh.
elbows him and then just nicks his glasses.
Yeah, I hate to see it.
I think that's funny.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer club. So, right.
I don't know. I think that's funny.
I don't really, you know,
This season. God.
you need a centre-back. You need a centre-back right now. You sold Kilman and replaced him with no one. And Craig Dawson can no longer do it. You need experience. I've gone for a very punchy
They
move.
have no money though.
Come on.
No.
We don't know that. No one has any idea how much money Wolves have.
Yeah, it is
No
true.
one knows.
Go to Leeds and try and buy Pascal Struijk, their centre half. I think he's really good. Oh. He's 20 good. He's 20 good. He's 25. He's a leader for Leeds, which I think they need. They are obviously top of the league, so it's a bit difficult to get him. But there's rumblings over whether or not he's going to agree to a new contract at the moment. I really like the player.
When's
I think
it
he's
up?
good.
When's his deal up?
I think 2026. They're trying to lock him down to a new deal. But you've got some money from the Kilman sale. It also future-proofs the potential that if you do get relegated, I think he can play higher than Leeds right now. Go and offer 25, 30 million, whatever, 25 million for Struijk and see what happens, because I think he's actually a very good centre-half. Leeds fans will be annoyed to hear it. But yeah, that's where I think realistically they should be shopping
I
around.
don't think you have much chance of getting him.
Well, Leeds as well. Leeds sold so many players in the summer that I think they're trying to keep hold of everyone they can in this January.
They also know what can happen when you're the best team in the league and you still don't get promoted.
They all go,
So you know they might be a bit fearful.
So yeah, obviously defence is what the one we need to look at. There is actually an argument for the attack as well, because obviously
They've got the
such
lowest
overperformance.
XG created in the Premier League, and they absolutely
Overperformed.
suck
Yeah. A lot of that to do with Cunha
in attack.
Um,
Gargle balls in attack. Crap.
And their defence, to be fair, has conceded 40 goals, and they should have only conceded 30 according to XG.
But they should have scored like 17.
But the reason for that, for me, has been the goalkeepers this year. Jose Sarr
Yes.
is bad, but he's not as bad as Sam Johnson this year. And Jose Sarr is now out injured for a little while. And Sam Johnson, I don't know, there was definitely a time where I thought he could have been at least a fine goalkeeper. It doesn't seem like it's quite working out, at least for this season. And so I think they need to get a goalkeeper in. When I was looking into their budget and stuff, it seemed, I read one quote that was like extremely limited budget. And so I was thinking, God, who on earth can they go and get here? And so
Portuguese guy.
I've gone for bringing him back to the Premier League.
Oh God.
He's currently a free agent. Keylor Navas.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Keylor Navas' time at Forest, okay, he was there for the whole season, and he wasn't incredible. He wasn't incredible, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't as bad as Sam Johnson. Sam Johnson so far this year, he started 7 games. His post-shot expected goals, he's conceded 3 more than he should have.
Yeah, but here's the thing about
Navas
him.
conceded 2 more his entire season.
Okay, but the thing about Sarr and Johnston is neither one of them has a history of being this bad. You know, it's more likely that they come back to the level they've been at the rest of their careers, where they've been like, okay, you know, rather than they carry on being literally the worst goalkeepers we've ever seen on the surface of the earth. Like,
38 years old.
Keylor Navas.
He's old, mate, but there's no, I don't know who, unless they're going to get some sort of
He's like a guy who owns a club. Now.
loan
Like,
move
that's what he looks like.
for an 80, for like some academy keeper, but God knows whether they're good or not.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Like,
They
can't they go to
signed
Chelsea?
Adam-
Can't they go to Chelsea and be like,
Yeah, Jorgensen.
can we have any of your
They
goalkeepers?
signed yours on loan. Wow.
Give us one of your 8 keepers.
But there
8 isn't even a number I've made up. That's actually the number.
But there isn't that they've got like the ones that they could take is I'm forgetting his
Sanchez.
name. Sanchez, Jorgensen, Bettinelli. All the other ones are on loan.
Take Jorgensen. then.
Is Areola injured?
At West Ham.
Because Fabianski's been ahead of him right now. I feel like
Maybe.
Areola could be quite a fun goalkeeper. He's better.
He's definitely
he's
he's
better.
had moments, but
He's better than Johnson.
he is currently at the moment. Well, I just saw things saying West Ham looking to axe Areola.
I think
he's
goalkeepers-
on the bench.
I think goalkeepers can always be found. Like somebody always has a backup keeper they're not using. Like whether it is, like if you could get Jorgensen off Chelsea for half season, which is not like impossible, that would be pretty cool. I'm going to go with centre back. I don't think they get Strauch. I think he would cost too much money. I don't love the player, but
out of the options,
but he's all right, and it's the superior option here, I think.
Fair enough. Henry,
what is that fucking beeping?
Yeah,
I thought I was going to lose that until you said Keylor Navas. And
I just think I was being more realistic. They have not got 30 million.
I think it is more realistic, but I don't care.
But fine, absolutely fine.
I don't care about the financial.
Do you think Keylor Navas is going to invest in a relegation battle for 6 months? All right, he's just there for the money.
Someone pays him, absolutely fine. Stick me in goal, mate. I reckon I could do better.
Why be at home in Costa Rica when you could be in Wolverhampton?
Yeah, very, very true. From one relegation candidate to another, Leicester City. Again, not very. They've got a lot of money.
Their position's all right, though.
They've got a lot of money. Their position is okay. They've obviously just changed manager. So I was thinking around the route of is there a United guy they can get on loan? But Marcus Rashford? No. I actually thought in the end.
Very Vardy-like.
I thought in the end, obviously, Van Nistelrooy was the manager at PSV.
It was.
There are links there to possible players. And I thought Ismail
They hated him
Sabari.
at PSV.
Yeah, well, but as in, like, he has connections there.
Sure.
He has connections. That
Connections to people who hate him.
Well, he knows the club. And one of the players that was actually pretty good for him was Sabari at PSV. He's 23 years old, can literally play anywhere. Anywhere in the midfield, anywhere in the wing, anywhere in the attack. He's got 5 goals and 7 assists so far this season. He's contracted until 2029, but there are rumours that around 30 million will get the job done. He can play. The issue right now.
30 million?
30 million, yeah, or just under.
Crazy, man.
Fatalu's injury is keeping him out for the rest of the season, so their right wing slot isn't necessarily that great, but they are having issues kind of all over the pitch for injuries, midfielders, whatever it might be. And Sabari kind of ticks all these boxes, can play wherever you need him to. And as I said, he knows the manager.
Okay. Interesting.
I've gone down the line that they don't have any money again because they spent it all on Oliver Skip, and they need a new centre half right now. Their centre half options are pretty abysmal, and actually at the top end of the Premier League, there's not many centre backs that I look at and think, yeah, you could go on loan. Like I had a good look at Tyrone Mings. Could they get minutes for him? But then I think maybe because they're in Europe, Villa might hold on to him. So I've gone for the Nottingham Forest centre-back, Andrew Omobamidele. I've gone for the Nottingham Forest centre-back, Andrew Omobamidele. Yeah, that is correct. They bought him from Norwich. He's actually very highly rated at Norwich, the Irish international. He's not really played since October. 6'2". He's just like a young centre-back that needs some minutes. He's not getting them at Forest because they've got such a settled centre-half pairing, and there's even another Brazilian ahead of him in the pack. Yeah, I think they need an immediate centre-back that can go in on loan. He's young. He's pretty exciting. They spent like 13 million on him last season. So
Van Nistelrooy said apparently he's happy with centre-backs.
He said that?
Yeah, he said he's happy with his defence. His centre-backs, yeah.
It wouldn't be my first stop.
Yeah, I was actually kind of shocked when he said that.
I kind of want a central midfielder, but like they did spend all that money on Skip, but he just sucks. He's terrible.
I don't like my suggestion.
They also kind of need a right back as well. They kind of. I'm telling you, Sabari's good. They kind of need a right back as well.
I cannot believe they're going to go to PSV and say.
And also, I don't think you can spend 30 mil on a utility man when you are.
No. He's a midfielder. Money. He's a midfielder but he can play right under Van Nistelrooy.
Omobamidele. Young centre half. God, get Vestergaard out of the team.
Their centre-backs are really, really bad.
But he says he likes them, mate.
But I do think the problem starts in midfield.
Saibari.
I don't know if they have the money. How much do you... What do you think?
Loan with a 10
I'm going to do both of these. There you go. I'm going to do both of these.
Yeah.
You need to make the case for Sabari's like defensive nous, I think. Whereas he's got very good goal and assist numbers.
Oh no, he's definitely a further forward player.
Yeah,
like,
which I
he
just
can play DM. But...
I'm like, did we not like kind of make moves there? I don't know. Like I just don't love it. I don't love it.
Okay, you want to do both.
I also think if you want that, there are rumours that they're going to loan back Dewsbury Hall, right? Like
rumours. Yeah,
just do that. It's just easier.
We'll see. Okay, so you're going to do both, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
All right, sure. So
Who
no
cares?
one's getting a point.
Doesn't matter. See you, Leicester.
Okay, Crystal Palace.
It's a bit more interesting one, I think.
It is a bit more interesting because they're having a little bit more success now that he's playing 3-4-2-1. A lot of noise is going on today. We've got the fridge behind us and this beeping.
Yeah, because they got big Trevor in, who I
Yeah,
love.
Trev's there. Lacroix's been playing pretty well as well recently. We did say
A gay Lacroix Chalobah backline is good.
We did say it just might take a little bit of time for them to gel, and it does seem like they're getting there. Hughes is now in midfield and actually doing pretty well.
But also, it's smart, isn't it, that if you play a back three, then your midfielders have to cover less ground. Whereas before, he was asking them to cover so much space. And also, teams could push up more, knowing that, like, when you don't have Eze and Elise, they are just much less scary.
Ismail Assar's been doing a good job, I think, actually. As well.
Yeah, but he's not Elise level.
No, he's without a doubt.
Elise was terrifying for
Without
teams
a
last
doubt.
season.
And my suggestion,
yeah.
and I've kind of gone for a bit of that. I know Pat also loves him as well.
Whoa.
And whilst I do think Ismail Assar is doing a good job, I don't think you can rely on him for the rest of the season. And I think they could fit in there, and he can play deeper. Carney Chukwuemeka.
Whoa, worth.
And I was saying, you maybe do it for a loan for the rest of the season with
Now
the option
we're
to
talking.
buy. Chelsea, like Maresca's done a very good job.
Do you think
very,
Chelsea
very
are
good
actually
job with
okay
Chelsea.
with him going?
I think they would, yeah. I think and if you look at the way
I think he could aim a bit higher.
But if you're
than
looking at the way, yeah, possibly. But the way that Maresca's using his squad, he is the one player who suffered. Everyone else has actually at least somehow got minutes, whether it be Conference League, whereas Chukwuemeka...
Dewsbury Hall and Nkunku, like these guys have not got real minutes.
But sure, but they're at least playing in the Conference League. It took it took us playing Astana for Chukwuemeka to get his first start over in Kazakhstan. And this is the guy who is now 21 years old. Like, he does need to be playing football now. He did have that really bad injury, and who knows what position he'd be in if he didn't get that bad injury against West Ham last season, because Poch was going to use him. He's contracted until 2028. Palace have done business with Chelsea over the years, so there is that connection there. I wonder if Chelsea got an offer of 35 million, which is about the price I think they paid for him, or just over it, whether they'd say. I think they'd probably say yes.
I'd want to do a loan to buy. I'd be loan to buy like 30 mil, something like that.
But you can play attacking mid, play on the right, can play deeper if you need him to.
I would just like to see him play football, honestly.
I agree.
Like, every time I've seen him, I'm like, this guy's got something.
Yeah.
And then he just disappears for 6 months. But, okay, Carney, who have you got for Palace?
Okay, I mean, I've also gone for a midfielder. I found it quite hard to pick Palace. It's quite different. Some people at home won't have heard of him. He's called Pepe Lu. He's a central defensive midfielder for Valencia, who are having a terrible season. Bottom of La Liga.
Shocking.
Yeah. Once again, in absolute implosion, that team. They only bought him a year and a half ago from Juventus for €5 million, but he's really good, and he's been wearing the captain's armband at points this season too. He's 26 years old, Spanish central defensive midfielder, huge progressive pass numbers.
Yeah.
Really like physical on the ball as well, which is kind of what they need. I think Wharton's going to move on at some point. I think to future-proof that midfield, 26 years old, entering his prime. If you went to Valencia, and I know they're in a relegation battle, and I know he's one of their most important players, most used players, but if you went to Valencia, Peter Lim's Valencia,
He will sell anything.
and said, "Oh,
He doesn't care.
Here's 20 million euros, the guy you bought 5 years ago," he'll be like, "Yeah, that's a great deal. We're going down." So I actually think Pepe Lu, he's a great, he like Spanish under 21s in all the Spanish youth teams. And he's been looked at by a lot bigger teams as well. Whatever happens, I think he's going to leave Valencia this summer. Get him now, because he's got leadership, he's got physicality, he's got the passing ability, he's at a great age, and I don't think it would be a massive overpay to get him.
It's an interesting one. He was actually profiled in the Transfer Flow newsletter last week. He is a really interesting player. And I do think defence has been the issue for them. But I still do think, like, they do have Doucouré there. And I also think Kamara has had his best performances there.
Yeah, but I mean...
I still think the path to a midfield should be probably like Doucouré, Wharton, somebody else long term is kind of what you'd hope.
Well, I think Wharton's going to leave at some point, so you might as well...
Sure, but like you can
get some long-term.
But
body
when that
in.
happens, you can ask for infinite money for him.
Will Hughes
and
is
also,
still
he
getting
and
huge
Pepe are
minutes.
totally different kinds of players. Like, Wharton is not really defensive at all. Like, he does put a shift in, but he's not that kind of player. He's like a progressive passer.
I think you want someone who actually plays football, unlike Chukwuemeka, who's on the...
Yeah, but
knocking around in the...
They're not really in danger. Like, there are so many bad teams. I'm going Carney.
I knew you. It's
Carney took
okay.
one
It's
A.
fine.
I kind of
It's
knew
fine.
it'd be Carney's a little bit of a banker with Pat.
That's for the people. That one was for the people at home to learn about a new exciting player.
He's a really interesting player actually. And I don't know. Valencia might just say Peter Lim generally will sell anyone, but this season might actually be the one they go down. And so I think if you said to him, he would look at that 20 mil versus relegation to like the Segunda Liga, and he might say, yeah, that 20 mil this time is not worth it. He might ask for more.
Though, wouldn't surprise me if he did sell. Henry,
doesn't give a
you
shit.
can suggest first, mate, for Liverpool.
Oh,
That's who we've got
Jesus.
Surely you've gone left back.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I know we talked a lot of detail about. I think I've deleted it by mistake. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I know we talked about Kirkesh. I think that's the obvious suggestion.
I've got someone else who I think is obvious.
Well, the player I went for, because I know we only talked about this every week, I've said they should go to Brighton and ask for Pervis Estupiñán.
Ooh.
I think they've got Kadiolu, who can play at left back as well.
He's injured though, isn't he?
I think Estupiñán has the potential to be one of the best left backs in the Premier League. He's quality. Brighton, I think, would sell if the right money comes along. So this is in a world that they don't go for Kirkesh, because I think that is obviously the first choice. So yeah, I thought Estupiñán, really solid, established left back, who would just slot straight into that team. And Brighton would probably be able to find someone else to replace him.
Kieran Tierney on a free.
Oh,
Yeah.
Contract's up next summer.
I'm sorry to do this to you, Henry. Anthony Robertson.
Yeah, but I just think he's too old. I think he's
too
27,
Is
turning
he?
28.
He's 27 and they're going for the Premier League right now. Like, get yourself a guarantee. You can at least be there for 4 years.
Nah.
He can.
Nah.
I think Anthony Robinson, he hasn't missed a game since last September back in 2023.
Mate, you don't need to convince us that he's good. The problem with him is not that he's good. Like,
But 27
he's
years
fantastic.
old is not 27. If you are Liverpool right now, who are going for the Premier League, and the one weak position you've got, or majorly weak position you've got, is left back, and you can get a guaranteed success. And yes, Kirkez is great.
It's just not
no
how they do
guarantee you
it.
get him from Bournemouth. Oh, of course, there's no guarantee you get Robinson unless you're paying.
And
big
they are
money.
still top of the league with like we're like, oh well, Robertson looks
No,
bad. It's like
yeah.
they're still top of the league
And so
by
they've got
miles.
Tsimikas,
Who
they've got
cares?
Tsimikas. But I just think I don't think 27 is an age where like okay, you know the level he is, you do, and there is potential of Kirkes, like you get someone who could be this freak of nature, but Robinson gives you a guarantee, and they're not easy to come by.
I think it would take a serious amount of
Oh
money.
yeah.
For
I think it's like
Fulham
it's
to
like 50
consider
mil.
selling.
It's like close to 50 mil.
Because we don't really have anyone after him.
Yeah.
Whereas at least Brighton have options who can play left back. And
Good
Kadiolu,
Kieran Tierney, though.
yeah, Kadiolu is meant to be.
Oh no, I'm thinking it
There.
costs you 50 million to get him or something like that. Like genuinely, you'll have to go high.
I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna go. You're gonna pay an arm and a leg for Estupiñán as well. Well, I think that's gonna be a lot of money. How old is he now? 26.
26.
Christ.
A year older, a year younger than Robinson.
Like I said, we said Kirkesh the other day, and I still think that's the right thing that they
But
should
I think
do.
these prices are going to be the same. I don't think
I
these
think
prices
Kirkes
are
is
going to be far
expensive
apart.
as well. Yeah.
This is in a world that they don't go for Kirkesh. Because I wanted to talk about someone else.
I think
Yeah.
Kirkes is
Okay.
super spenny.
I think they're going to go for Kirkesh. Let's leave it there.
I'd
Look,
be
if
shocked.
I had to
I'd
pick, if I had to
genuinely
pick
shocked
these
if
guys,
Bournemouth took it.
if I had to pick these guys,
Genuinely.
I think the price would be the same. So like, I kind of think like you might as well get Robinson.
All right, well, I was going to say Kirkesh. I just for the variety.
All right. Well, we'll give Henry a point there.
I don't think. What?
He deserves it.
Okay.
Sort of,
Okay.
in a way.
I'll write it down as like a.
For being unapologetically wrong. But Henry has picked players almost entirely to annoy me. so he knew he was losing this from the start, and I do grudgingly respect that attitude.
Well, from Liverpool and talking about Anthony Robinson to Fulham.
I found it so hard, I really.
What? Because they've basically got a
They're
perfect
squad,
11.
yeah.
Perfect 11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who's not being, as we said earlier, who's not being used at Arsenal at the moment?
Kieran Tierney. You can have
Hugo
Kieran Tierney.
Tank.
You could have
Kivior.
Tierney
who
is
else have we
actually.
got on the bench?
Tierney's right. Tierney's a good option.
Gabriel Jesus. He'd be
Kivior,
fantastic for
Gabriel Jesus.
you.
Oh, Gabriel Jesus.
You can have Party at the end of the season.
Right, I'll just tell you who I've picked. I've
Is
picked
there a
one
prison
of
in Fulham?
I've picked one of my favourite players in Europe, Ritsu Doan of Freiburg,
Okay.
the Japanese winger. I think he can also play through the middle as well. Because we're looking at Shirky, but he shirked us once, and I'm not going back for that price.
He's such a risk.
He's a massive knob.
Yeah.
Which is a real problem.
Yes, I agree. So I do not want him.
What about someone else from Lyon though? Like, what about like Malik Fofana or whatever? Who's really exciting, or Mikotadze? Like, I think he's a guy somebody could sign.
We were linked with Nuama, Ernest Nuama, the young winger they had. But no, Richie Doan, 5 goals, 2 assists this season for Freiburg. Was their player of the season last year. Really tricky, fun winger, could bolster out the attack. Because I think a different option to Adama Traore or even Harry Wilson, who's playing more centrally this year. His contract ends very soon at Freiburg in a year, and I saw their sporting director having to come out and say, don't worry, he's not going anywhere in January. Well, I don't know. Fulham have the ability at the moment. We're playing such good football. I think we can go out and get good players. Yeah. This is more just because I really like Doan and I like to see someone like that profile.
Do you know how old
is he now?
25.
Okay.
Do you not think you need a striker? Like, as in, like, yes, okay, you're making do. You are making.
Well, the thing is, I want a wide forward, someone who can play through the middle. I don't want just another version of Jimenez and Muniz.
So you don't want Santiago Jimenez?
Well, I don't think we're gonna buy him.
Well, this is the video, right?
I'm suggesting
Santiago Jimenez is what I was thinking. I think other Jimenez, obviously that's already at Fulham, is fine. And I think Muniz is somebody who at moments can look really, really good. On other days, not so much. Whereas Santiago Jimenez, we spoke about him loads in the summer, about a team trying to go out there and getting him. And in the end, no one did. He did suffer a 2-month thigh injury at some point as well this season. He is back though now. And I do agree. You'd probably have to break your transfer record again to bring him in. Which was obviously Emil Smith Rowe for what, 32, whatever it was.
I think it was rising to 35.
35. Santiago Jimenez is who I've put forward here because he is on the verge, 23 years old. Like, we were really impressed by him last year. Could do it at Fulham.
He's a good player, but I do think that there are going to be strikers available. You know, like, I think in the summer, like, I'd be interested in Ekitike, though I think he's probably above Fulham at this stage. Like I said, Mikotadze, Malik Fofana out of Lyon. Like, there are some interesting guys around for a team like Fulham. I think Doan is quite a low risk signing and like quite useful for them now. Like, looks like Reece Nelson's going to be out for quite a while, which is a pity. Classic Reece Nelson, like, does his hamstring, but somehow rather than it being a month out, it's like 3 months out. I go for Doan, and you'll still have the option to go for Jimenez or something in the summer. Yeah. But I think the way that Raúl Jimenez and Muniz have kind of like chopped and changed in that attack, it's not a huge need right now.
Yeah, I found it really hard. I found it really, really hard to pick a Fulham player.
Yeah, you know, when teams are normally doing pretty well, and all
I think
their
you could do with
performing,
another like DM like type.
Yeah, I friend drop. I'd put in about 19 different clubs. So yeah,
yeah, just as
I wasn't sure.
Newcastle United then,
but like Kakare or something, you know, like someone like that who's available.
Kakare would have been
cool. Not down price.
Newcastle United again could suggest multiple positions. I think for them. I've gone with right wing because apparently Almiron is expected to leave in January as well.
I also have a right wing striker.
Even more, they need a right winger. They've only got Murphy playing there.
Why are you shaking your head?
Because they just had a right winger in the summer.
I mean, it's supposedly the guy they had, isn't it? It's supposedly PSR.
I know, but like then they but then as part of like the PSR thing with Anderson, like they bought Forest goalkeeper. So like, how exactly does this PSR?
And they didn't even start him. Dubrovnik's back in goal. Now Pope's injured. So they also don't have a lot of money to spend as well.
They have no money. He said they're going to have to sell to buy anyone.
Oh, it's so sad, isn't it? Like, it's so sad. So many people have been playing the violin about this, where they're just like, isn't it a nonsense that like which is such a stupid phrase, but isn't it a nonsense that like the richest club in the world, they can't go and spend all their money so that they can cheat and try and win the league? Isn't that outrageous? Like, there are literally serious journalists writing that. Like, no, it's not. That's good. You shouldn't let the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia come in and just like fund Newcastle winning the Premier League. They already spent a bunch of money. Sorry, but there are rules. You don't get to just like jizz money infinitely into a hole, like just trying to get yourself up into the Europa League conversation. Like, maybe you should have been smarter about your financial dealings, or maybe you have to accept, like a lot of teams do, you might have to sell somebody you don't want to sell. Chelsea sold players they didn't want to sell in the summer. Like, why do Newcastle think, oh, well, we shouldn't have to sell Guimaraes, we should be able to keep all our players? Well, no, because you spent massively over the odds on someone like Tonali, who then sat out a year.
Yeah,
like
geez.
even people like Lewis Hall, who I think is fantastic and now looks really, really good.
30 odd
They
million,
overspent on him. They overspent on Livramento. Like, these are players they should have been able to get for less money. So shut up, Newcastle. Stop whining. Like, you're lucky that you're in the top half of the table rather than the relegation zone where you rightly belong. Like, over the last 10 years, like, that club has been disgracefully run. Like, think about it. Like, in the early 2000s, Newcastle was like a proper club. And then it was, like, mismanaged to the point of relegation, to actual relegation. They come back up. They get a massive influx of cash, which gets them back into the top 4. And they're still crying about the fact that, like, we don't just let them spend money.
All their money.
All day long. Like, shut up. You're a good team. Enjoy the fact you've got a good manager and several
Great
excellent players.
Yeah.
Like,
well, one more I wanted to add to them.
They look pretty good at the moment as well.
One more I wanted to add to them. And again, they're going to have to sell to get him in. They will. They will.
Good.
But if Almiron's going, they might get a bit of money for him. Johan Bakayoko.
Sure.
Johan Bakayoko, right wing, does that job. He's been spoken about for a long time now. Very, very interesting player. Someone I think I've sent to Arsenal a few times when we've done these before.
I don't know if he's quite a top-end athlete that you want him to be for that.
For Eddie Howe?
No,
Or for Premier League?
Maybe for Premier League, but maybe for, Arsenal. Like, he's not as fast as you would kind of hope. Mm-hmm. But he's good. He's a good player.
I think, especially if you think of what that front three then starts to look like, with Harvey Barnes obviously coming on as well. I think it's Gordon, Isaac, Bakayoko. It could be very, very fun.
Sure.
But yeah, that's who I'm going with. I think around 30 million will probably do it.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know how much money Almiron's going to generate towards that. I think
Probably 25 mil. 25, 30 mil.
So yeah, I've gone on the basis that they're going to get someone in on loan.
Okay.
To the look to buy Mbeumo or Semenyo in the summer, which is what I think they will actually do.
Yeah.
Who is a struggling high-end right winger / forward figure who could probably do with a loan right now? I've gone for Serge Gnabry. Anthony. I did have a.
Could happen.
I've gone for Gnabry.
Jesus Christ.
He is not playing really.
He's not playing at all?
Well, he started 6 games in the Bully under company. He's so far behind Elise at the moment. They also have Kingsley Coman. They also have Leroy Sané on the other wing. I think
Kingsley Coman's still at Bayern. Why do I think he left?
Well, that's the thing. They're just all there. They're all there. apparently, Gnabry, they're going to probably look to move him on at some point. I think a good loan move in the Premier League for him would be reinvigorating for him. He's got unfinished business in the Premier League. He's a great player. He can play through the middle because Callum Wilson's injured again if they need to. You can obviously play out wide. I think you know exactly what you're getting from him. He's a blockbuster loan move to get Newcastle back pushing towards the Champions League spots. I think he would do it because he's not really playing at Bayern, and I think it's gone a bit sterile. Their winger situation has gone very sterile outside of Elise. So why not look at him and say, come to St James's Park, have a good 6-month loan. He's got one more year on his contract, so either get value for a move or get some suitors in. I think it's a win-win for both parties, really.
He's not a right winger though. He's a left winger.
He plays on the right.
He's principally a left winger.
He can play on both wings.
The right wing has been Elise Sané, predominantly.
He plays on the right wing.
He has played on the right wing, but if he turns up at Newcastle, he's not going to think, yeah, obviously I'll do a job for you guys on the right wing. He's going to be play me in my preferred position.
He plays on the right wing.
Yeah, he does play right wing.
He can play right wing, but he doesn't.
But they're not going to buy Bakayoko now. They're not going to buy him. I'm talking about a high-end loan they could get right now.
If you can get Gnabry, do it. Fine. If you can get Gnabry for half a season, actually, I don't know. Is there any point doing that? Because
what do you mean? He's great.
Yeah, but it's not going to actually change their prospects. Newcastle aren't getting in the top 4.
Well,
so why does it matter?
I think they could push for Europa League. It's so tight.
Oh, fuck it. Do it. Yeah, okay. Get Gnabry in. Why not? If Gnabry goes to Newcastle, I would love it. I would actually love it. It'd be fantastic. Yeah. And that is the kind of player... I mean, that's above the kind of player. But that is the kind of player that, in my mind, Newcastle should have. Newcastle... Yeah. I remember when Newcastle were great. So, sure.
I've got fun idea written down.
Also, if you are someone like Gnabry and you think, look, I need to put myself in the shop window for a decent move this summer, why not go to a good club with a good manager where I'm playing with good players, and in the summer maybe they make it permanent, maybe I just go back to Bayern, or maybe somebody else comes in and actually spends real money on me. Why not? I'll go to PSG.
Also, I thought that'd be nice for your thumbnail. I thought that.
Yeah, that's the main.
Thank you, mate. Okay, Manchester United.
God,
they need left wing back.
They need everything.
They need left wing back. They do. They also do in a few positions, so there are arguments there. But I think Nuno Mendes is something that I could see happening.
I'm not going to buy Nuno
How
Mendes.
would that happen? In what
He has worked
okay, Roberto Carlos.
He has worked with Amarim before at Sporting. Deal until 2026. Deal until 2026.
Really?
Currently, yeah. So it's not like he's got years and years and years left.
Henry's getting scared.
No, I'm not at all. I'm not.
I mean, he's for the left wing back position. He'd be great. He'd be absolutely fantastic.
Yes,
there's no denying that.
He is literally maybe the best possible option in world football.
There you go. Spend the money.
It's like Federico Di Marco, Mendes, like Davies, and
I think they could try for Davies. There is. I thought about Davies, but obviously I sent him to Liverpool
Theo Hernandez,
2 weeks ago. Yeah, Theo Hernandez. Jesus, imagine.
Okay. You know what? Don't get me wrong. Obviously, it'd be nice for them to go sign them. There's not a planet where PSG sell him.
No.
At this point.
What have you got?
He's literally one of their best players. I've got Maximilian Mittelstadt from Stuttgart, Germany's starting left back, left wing back.
Yeah.
He's
Get him.
1 goal, 4 assists this year. Super physical, over 7 tackles and interceptions and clearances per 90. Hugs the width, which is exactly what he's going to be asked to do for Manchester United. They bought him for €500,000 like a year and a half ago. He's got €17 million value. Get him in right now. You need a physical left back. I was even looking at Nuno Tavares, but he's on loan at Lazio. He's been unbelievable.
He's been really good for a couple of seasons now.
Mittelstadt starts for Germany, 27, good age, and I think he could bridge the gap for a future signing for a left back. I think this is a shoo-in.
Okay, that's a half point for Henry. But I'm not going for either of them. I'm going for Alvaro Fernandez Carreras.
Yeah, but that's not your role. We've spent the time.
I run the club. I do whatever I want.
No. Mittelstadt.
Both of my scouts can come to me and I can say, no offense, but you're both fired.
You've just made up a name.
You're both fired. The guy who they sold to Benfica in the
yeah.
summer, who they have a €15 million buyback on,
they do,
who has been playing very well, especially in European play for them. Benfica have an outstanding defence, though he is not particularly defensive. He's an attacking left wing back, but he is a guy who's been at the club before and can be had for below market value. And is he 22? Like I think he might only be 21 still. Like, get him in.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I actually don't mind that. I think,
but when it's still half.
I like both the players.
When Nuno Mendes joins,
who are they actually going to sign out of these two? They're not going to sign Nuno Mendes. They could sign Mittelstadt.
Well, yes, that's why you get a half point, and Zach doesn't.
They'll sign men. When they do, I'll come back. We'll come back to this. Don't worry. Okay, over to Chelsea. I know, Pat, don't sign anyone. I agree. But for this, we have to suggest someone.
Yeah.
Or have you gone keeper?
No, I haven't. I've gone.
That'd be insane.
I haven't gone for keeper because I think they should just play Jorgensen.
Yeah, agreed.
I've gone centre back.
Yeah, centre back, right-sided centre back is what they need right now.
Agree.
Jonathan Tah's contract expires this summer.
He's
28. He's just really good at football. He's a quality centre back, and he'd just go in and do a good job.
So I've put the exact same thing.
He will have better options. Like I think
Real
Madrid and Bayern are both interested. They're better options than Chelsea.
Real Madrid are interested.
Like Real Madrid I've been seriously talking about him, but Real Madrid are interested. Bayern are interested. And he can wait till the summer and sign on a free, like as we're saying. So he'll have better options. But that said, if Chelsea can pay a bit of money and get him in, yes, Tah would be fantastic.
And a bit more experience as well.
There wasn't really many other options.
Tah, Colwell, they can, and then they can cull some guys. Like
Disassi, yeah.
They can sell Disassi and Tosin probably for like some actual money, like not like tons and tons, but given what they pay, like they obviously got Tosin on a free. Disassi, I think they pay, but they can probably get that money back for the pair of them, which is pretty good in my view.
Yeah, I mean,
Tah would be fantastic.
I actually agreed that I thought centre back's a bit of a tough one, at the moment. For like someone who's at the level.
Yeah.
There are loads of young guys and stuff, but it's tough to find someone exact. I know before we said, was it Diamonde we said before?
Yeah, Diamond.
Yeah, Diamond.
There's Antonio Silva, Benfica. Like there are people around, but like it's really hard. This is one of the areas where it's really hard for us, where we're like, we are not full-time scouts. And to see how good a centre-back is, you do kind of need to watch like multiple games of that guy, like 20 games of that guy.
Agreed. So yes, they have it, Chelsea fans. Jonathan Tah is who we've suggested. We both suggested him, so neither of us get a point there. But if you've got any suggestions, let us know in the comments below for all of these clubs as well. Who would you sign for them? Over to Aston Villa next, and I've gone for a right back. His contract is expiring at the end of this season. Kyle Walker-Peters. 27 years old. Matty Cash. I think he's better than Matty Cash.
Is he?
Though I think Matty Cash, Kyle Walker-Peters.
Is he just a myth at this point?
No, Kyle Walker-Peters is a good player. I think he's very good. If they didn't get promoted, someone would have bought him, and maybe it would have been Villa to be fair, but someone would have bought him in the summer if they didn't get promoted. Obviously they did. He's been at Southampton now for a long, long time. And I think this is something where, look, are Southampton going to be trying to get rid of any players, especially if they're like best players? No. So I would never get rid of Tyler Dibbling this January unless it's mental money. But I think with someone who they're going to possibly have no money for in 6 months' time, they would actually think about it for Kyle Walker-Peters. And I think he would, okay, maybe he's not light years ahead of Matty Cash. I think he is better and is an improvement, but at least gives some competition. I know they've got that youngster as well who's like 18, who featured a few times. But Kyle Walker-Peters for me. I don't think that costs you more. Yeah. I don't think that costs you even 10 mil.
I don't mind losing this one. I found it quite hard because
it is difficult. Left wing maybe I thought.
Well, I thought even like the Philogene doesn't seem to be doing much. Yeah. I feel like Matty Cash was playing right wing the other day. So I went for Dennis Mann from Parma, the Romanian winger, who was excellent in the Euros for Romania. He's been very good in Serie A this season for a promoted side. I think he's got like 6 goal involvements, which is pretty good for a lower end team. I'm not particularly excited. I was going to say Shirky, but I just don't like him. So I've renegaded on Shirky and I've gone for...
It's not the worst gamble though.
No, Shirky's not bad.
I think like Shirky's so good.
All right, Shirky then. I'm going back to Shirky. Yeah, Shirky. That's what I've gone for.
I think I'd probably take Shirky there. Like, because if Shirky arrives and he's a dick and you sideline him, but you haven't paid that much for him, I don't think it matters that much because the upside is crazy. Like the upside of Shirky is you get one of the best young attackers in the world. He's still only 21. His passing numbers are insane. Like he's at like 9 progressive passes and 4 passes into the penalty area per game.
He can be ridiculous.
He's at 0.7 expected goals and assists per 90. And Lyon aren't like a great team. They're like 7th best team in Liga. Mm-hmm. Like so, his potential is staggering. And I do think Villa miss a bit of like fun, real creativity.
Yeah. Ever since Jack Grealish,
like people are like, oh, well, Rodgers is an attacking midfielder. It's like he's not that very creative.
He's a bulldozer.
Like I like him, but he's like, you want him to like muscle past people rather than like pick passes. Really, like Tielemans can do a bit of it, but Tielemans can't do that and be your passing hub from the base of midfielder, and also like he's got significant weaknesses. I
like the idea.
Shirky would be really cool for them.
And you know what, like. As I said, they've got their
That's the right level as well.
They've got their own issues at the moment financially, so it wouldn't shock me.
They can definitely buy him. And he can't say, because he said no to Fulham because he didn't think they were good enough.
Yeah,
he can't say to Villa in the Champions League, no, I'm not joining you.
I agree, actually. I think that'd be good fun. Over to Brighton now, and I've gone a bit mental. Oh, right?
Okay.
Brighton have all this money. They've received all this money over the last...
Loads of money.
Yeah,
they spent like 200
million. They have. They can spend another 50 mil.
Okay.
Because
on what?
Right now, I think it's actually Brighton was kind of tough just because they've kind of got a million different players who are all fantastic in every position. The place where they could do with a little bit more though is centre back. Dunk is nowhere near the level he has been previously. Veltman has had injuries. Webster has had injuries. Even Van Heck has had injuries so far this season. Veltman's contract ends at the end of the season. Webster apparently has 1 year left in his deal.
It's thin on the left side, isn't it?
Gonzalo, how do you say Inacio.
Gonzalo Inacio. But it's not Insensao.
Not Insensao, sorry. I got confused with the right one.
I don't know if I'm not sure you can win by not even knowing.
Look, pronunciation's never been my forte, but still. £51 million release clause. Brighton.
That's a lot of money.
Brighton. And look, they have Igor and they have Van Heck, who are doing a good job together. I think they are the two. But
Zach.
Mate, with this, let's do this. Brighton can do this. Let's do this.
Yeah, LFG. Like I do get.
Imagine how great this would be.
I do get that a bit because like Brighton are now at a point where it's like
Amarin's gone from Sporting.
We've got this squad of guys where you're like, maybe this is the squad that we that we say no sales for just like 2 years, and all the players are like, oh, we thought we'd leave, but like you're like, no, we're keeping you together for 2 years, and if at the end of that we're not in the Champions League, then we'll sell, and if at the end of that we are in the Champions League, maybe you want to stay. Yeah.
Why
not?
And he has a move here as well where
he's 23, right? He's left-footed.
Left-footed.
He's paid in a back three though.
That I do a year, I do 2 years here, I can get another move to a huge club. They play good football. They've got exciting players to play with.
They do play good football.
I think this is a good move here. Let's just do this.
He's intriguing me, Henry.
Henry is at the moment frantically researching to come up with a different option.
My options. By comparison, I went on the proviso that they don't have 50 million to spend.
They do. They do.
They will do though. Like they don't need to worry because
Once they get
they could sell
Stupid go to
Ferguson,
Liverpool.
or they'll sell
I'm
Ferguson
gonna
in the
give
summer.
you-
It won't matter.
I'm going to give you a choice of 2 Ajax players. Okay.
Okay. You've got one here who's going to intrigue me.
Dane Wrench is like their centre back, right back.
Divine.
Divine Wrench,
Yeah.
who I think is really good. He's Dutch international. Contract expires this summer. Roma wants him apparently. Get in ahead
So
of
did
him.
Barcelona, supposedly.
Get in ahead of him. Well, yeah, but Brighton are signing good players. He can play
Exactly.
he can play right back or he can play centre back. I think he's
Tottenham.
really, really good.
He's really cool player.
He's a solid. I think go to Ajax and say, look, we will take him off your hands right now, and he could, like you say, he covers all the areas that they potentially need at Brighton right now. They've also got Hato, the 18-year-old, like sensational centre back, but he's going to cost a hell of a lot more money. On the proviso that Brighton don't have enough money right now, and they're not in a huge position of need. Go get Wrench. I think he's a great player.
Ignacio.
No, I'm going to take Euro Hato from you.
No.
Again, a half point.
No. Seriously.
Hato's more like a left back, centre back.
Hato's been fantastic playing kind of left back this year. Like he's also a young player where I think that a team like Liverpool should go for him, like realistically, and play him as a left back and maybe age into the centre back. But he's the kind of guy who other clubs go and like think about, and they're like, oh, we're interested, we'll monitor him for another year, and Brighton just go and say, no, we'll just take him immediately. And he would get loads of minutes there. He'd be absolutely fantastic for them. He'd know that he could do 3 years there and he'd still be 21. Like it'd be completely fine. He is a fantastic player. I do think they develop him super, super well. And when you're talking about like 50 mil for Ignacio, I think 50 mil probably gets you Hato. And I think he's the superior prospect, if not currently the superior player.
Wow. I was
you go.
so excited for that move. I was so excited for that. It didn't happen.
I did like it.
Hope you're
but
happy, Henry.
It's a lot of money.
I'm Henry
no,
Hill.
to be
I'll
honest-
suggest you 5 players per club. You can pick one.
Henry is so far behind.
No, he's not.
he not?
He's winning. I've got 4.
Am I?
I've got 4. He's got 6.
I don't- Pat,
all the other ones
can't be.
you've got. I'm not going for either.
To borrow your catchphrase, I don't care. So, it really doesn't matter.
Well,
All right.
you are fine.
Manchester City.
Oh God.
So I actually had Colin Milani as a possible loan option here. I thought we've already sent him elsewhere, haven't we?
How many players you got listed for Man City?
Well, no, these are just people who I have there to talk about.
Zach, I
And
can
they're
see we
there.
have exactly the same player.
Joshua Kimmich is the guy I've actually gone with.
We do not have exactly the same player.
You can go for Reinders.
I've gone for Reinders, yeah.
Reinders is interesting. So yeah, I had Reinders there, but I thought
do
Joshua
not like
Kimmich is
that
the
player.
easy one.
He's great. Reinders is unreal. They need
He's-
players that
he's
can
not
control
that
and
good.
pass the ball in midfield. He's brilliant.
He's not great.
He is. I do think he has ups and downs. I do
Yes.
think he has a lot of ups and downs. I don't know if City can right now bank on players who can have ups and downs.
When I watch Reinders, he does nothing most of the time, and then every now and then produces a great pass, like every couple of games. But I do find that a lot of the time he's a bit of a passenger.
He's
I'm not.
literally been AC Milan's best player this year.
No, he hasn't. Like I'm not wild about that player. Leao's better. Pulisic is better. Like, off the top of my head,
Joshua Kimmich.
it's a lot of money.
We talked about
a lot of
Zubimendi.
wages,
We talked
it'd be
about
wages.
Zubimendi the other week.
Yeah, so I didn't
want
wanna- yeah,
So I thought,
Yeah,
who else can actually pass the ball in midfield, which they're
But
missing?
Kimmich gives you the
Rangers.
option of the
Cost a
right back
fortune,
and the
Reinders,
central
as well.
midfielder.
I know. God.
The Colin Milani one.
I
thought would be
wouldn't
fun as well,
sign
but I didn't
either
know.
of these players, but I'm gonna stop like sitting on the fence. I think I go Reinders, even though I really hate the player, but just because I think City have got old quietly.
Yeah, they have. Yeah,
Reinders
you're
isn't
right.
young. I think he's 26.
Yeah.
Like, but the age curve has quietly come for them over the last couple of seasons. They had 2 relatively quiet summers and they didn't get younger. And now you look at the team and you're like, that guy's old. And they can't press as well as they used to. They can't cover as well as they used to. Like even Rodri will come back from injury very close to 30, I think. Or
Yeah, 29. or
like
whatever
so
it is.
so I think just getting a little bit younger across the board is a priority for them.
No, it's fair enough. I had him as a suggestion.
Wouldn't sign him,
I
though,
had him
it's
as a
rubbish.
suggestion, but I thought Kimmich might be the actual possibility. Because I don't know if ACB would let him go either.
Well,
really.
I reckon if you...
Are there rumours AC
Their,
looking...
their fans
I think
put
for
a
the
banner
money.
up this week saying we're sick and tired of our team being mediocre or something like that. It's so good. Like Milan are in a little.
So they want him sold then. I take it.
Well, I just
'Cause he's mediocre.
maybe if you waggled some money, which City will do. Like this is one where City could just offer 50 million.
They could,
60 million,
yeah. True. All right, Nottingham Forest here, and I had a bit of a fun one idea. I'm just going to say it, but I'm not actually suggesting this one. I did have a loan move for Arda Güler.
What? Where did that come from?
Seems unlikely.
His agent has said he's not leaving.
Yeah. Then I was thinking Daniel Marlon. I'm thinking right wing is my spot here. I think obviously they're doing so well at the moment. Chris Wood is obviously playing well, getting goals all the time. So it's hard. You're not going to replace him. I was going to say Daniel Marlon, and then I actually went for Marcus Edwards.
Okay.
At Sporting. Okay. Marcus Edwards over the last couple of years has really grown under Amorim, playing in obviously that system that he had at Sporting, being that attacking mid, and at times also on the right wing as well. One of the top 1% for progressive carries, been very, very impressive. He's got 0.85 expected goals over the last year, 0.85 for expected goals and assists per 90 over the last year of football.
It's pretty good.
His release quota is at 50 million, but I think you get him for less than that because this season he's had a little bit of an injury and he's not been playing as much. So I think you can get him at a cut price. The injury isn't like mental. It's not like, oh my God, his career end. It's nothing like that. It's just like a thigh injury or whatever it was. I don't know exactly. And I think he is someone who can battle with Elanga, with who's the other right winger they've got? Begins with a D. Dominguez.
Oh yeah,
Dominguez on the right. Yeah. He's playing on the right as well. I think he can battle with them, and I think he could really help not improve that side, but give them another option to have for that right wing. So that's my suggestion of Marcus Edwards.
Okay. I think Daniel Marlon would have been good. He's available for like 30 million.
But I just don't know whether he would move to Forest.
All right. Again, this is a bit like Fulham. I don't think you want to upset this team too much.
Yeah.
So I went for Christian Eriksen, I think, to provide some backup to Gibbs White in the creative hole. Christian Eriksen's at United. He's 2 goals, 2 assists in the Europa League, which is only really where he's been playing this season, shows that he's got that creativity. I think getting experienced heads through the door just to like see them through this brilliant campaign of theirs. I love Eriksen. I think he's a quality player. He's obviously not doing anything at United. So he's going to leave in the summer. I don't think Forest got loads of money. Offer a bit of money for him now and get another body, a creative body in that midfield to give Gibbs White a bit of a rest. Because as you said, they do have options on the right.
Yeah, they do.
They do have plenty of options on the left. Chris Wood and Awoni's fine up front. Give Gibbs White some competition in behind. Who better than like a Premier League great in Christian Eriksen, who I still think can do a bit of 18 months, could do something.
Is Eriksen good at football?
He was. I'll do Edwards. I do actually think Marlon is like an interesting guy for them. But
I just don't think he'd go to Forest.
I'll do Edwards. I know. Played for
for
Arsenal before. Maybe he would.
Okay, lovely. Well, Edwards, welcome back to England. Hope you enjoy your stay.
How many teams have we got left?
We've got 3 teams left.
Oh my God.
And
hey, we're having fun. You haven't had to do any prep for this. You can just sit here and be quiet.
yes or no? Yeah, that's it. Ipswich.
Well, that's what seniority.
Ipswich, and obviously they spent a lot of money in the summer.
Evan Ferguson on loan. That's what I've gone for. Different profile to Liam.
You didn't send him to West Ham, did you?
No, you didn't go to West Ham. Where is he going to get loads of minutes? Ipswich. Get him there.
But what happens to Djellab?
What do you mean? They're a different profile of striker.
But Djellab has to start.
Different profile of striker.
Djellab has to start.
Where? Which isn't going to hinder
he might
anything
go from
that Brighton's doing.
to Ipswich and still not play.
No, he's going to play.
He'll play.
Over Djellab.
Who have you got?
I've got. It doesn't matter. I haven't got Evan Ferguson. I've got Tom Fellows at West Brom. Plays on the right wing. Plays on the right wing. No. Like he's a cheaper option.
I'm going to sock you right there. We're getting Evan Ferguson. We're getting him in. We can work it out. I do actually think. I also do think that like you can manage getting Djellab and Ferguson into the same lineup.
Come on, I'm talking a punchy striker to elevate that attack.
Also, if Djellab got injured like now, that would be like the end for Ipswich.
They've only got George Hurst is out injured.
Yeah,
who's the bloke they bought? Broya can't kick a ball. Evan Ferguson.
Broya's at Everton, isn't he?
Is he at Everton? Well,
he's at Everton.
Doesn't matter then.
On loan.
Evan Ferguson needs minutes. Ipswich, good
Mate,
coach.
you've already won.
It's fine.
Who are you arguing with?
You can have it. Exactly. I mean, Tom Fellows would also be really good as well. I actually think he might.
I've spoken like someone who like dates a West Brom fan. You know, he's just like, oh, he's actually really good.
He is good. Tom Fellows is good.
I've had to watch.
He is good. He is good.
Terrible football.
Okay, Bournemouth. Iriola is sixth, and they
in.
have the greatest XG underperformance in the league. I think they should have scored like another 10 more goals or something.
Their expected goal difference per 90 is better than Chelsea's.
Yeah,
it's
mad.
like just behind Arsenal's. It's better than Chelsea's.
It's mad. Okay, I'm going with... I thought Chelsea were leading expected goals.
No, they're not leading expected goal difference because
not difference. Yeah,
your defense
not difference,
is
not difference.
horrifically bad.
But they are leading expected goals.
Poorly
Okay,
coached.
Bournemouth, Tammy Abraham. £20 million.
He's only
What are you? He's on a
He's
loan,
on loan. Yeah, people recall them to sell him.
and he's playing for AC Milan.
No, he's not playing for AC Milan.
He is
He is
playing.
not playing for AC Milan.
He is playing.
He's having bench. He's coming on for like 10 minutes here and there.
How many
bench
minutes has he got?
options. Not a lot.
jury. Like,
We'll find out.
decide.
We'll
I'm
find
decide
out right now. In the
He's
meantime,
been starting more and more. Him and Morata
Yeah.
dovetail each other.
okay.
They're
well,
not gonna let him go.
say that
Why would
to.
they just move to Bournemouth? He's at AC Milan.
Especially because Fonseca, like despite Milan having very good underlying numbers, they are miles off the pace.
Played-
They're like 14
Do you know
points
what?
off top.
Do you know what? Played 45 minutes. Atalanta played 12 minutes. Empoli played 9.
He's part of every single game.
Cagliari played 24 minutes. Udinese played 5 minutes. Hasn't started a 90 in the league since the beginning of October.
But he's been playing in the Champions League as
Who
well.
have you got?
I've gone for someone that would elevate their midfield right now. Santi Comesaña.
You haven't
from
got a
Villarreal.
striker?
No, because they need. I think Ryan Chris could be upgraded. I've gone for someone
Yeah.
that Iriola knows really well because he managed him at Rayo Vallecano. He could literally just turn up, and they tried to get him in the summer and he didn't. He's one of Villarreal's best players. 2
I do
goals,
like
2 assists.
Comesaña. He's 27 now, right?
Yeah. He can do pretty much everything. He's an all-action midfielder, and again, Villarreal.
He replaced Rodri at Villarreal. Like he's the guy, and like I'm not saying he's that level, but like he's like a pound shop version of that. You know, like he's a good defender, good passer. Like that is what he does.
Villarreal are a selling club as well. You offer them money and they'll sell him.
Yeah, and
Roma would snap
they're having
your
a
hand
good
off on
season,
money
but they're
for
not having.
Abraham.
Yeah, but they'd have to like lose some money to recall him.
20 mil.
Look, if you can get Abraham, that would be great, but get Comesaña in. I do think that's a bigger position of weakness. I don't worry about their attack. I do worry a bit about their midfield in some ways.
Okay, fair play. I'm not definitely. I actually haven't got it. Everton, last team. I basically put for Everton. Fucking sign anyone. Sign anyone everywhere.
But get a CM,
get anyone.
get a right back.
Get a striker.
Get a
Get a winger.
Yeah.
A right winger. Like, genuinely, my thing for them was go to every club in the Premier League. Go, who can you send us on loan?
I would literally go to like Lyon.
Yeah.
I would go to any club in financial difficulty. I'd go to Lyon and I'd be like, we will give us Kakare, Fofana, and Mikotadze for like, would you do the trio for like 60 mil? And Lyon would probably be like, yeah, that basically like gets us out of trouble. Like that, Mikotadze is 24-year-old striker. He's excellent. Fofana is a 19-year-old
They
winger
don't
who
have
looks
60
really
million
exciting.
pounds. Everton
Well, the
have
new
no
finances.
The takeover is going to be
basically gonna
ratified
happen
tomorrow.
very, very soon, yeah.
Like, they're going to have to spend some money at some
gonna have to,
point.
yeah, without doubt,
you know,
right.
look, what have you got?
I mean, you're going to just say no.
Just give me anything.
Centre forwards.
Tom Fellows from West Brom.
No, I've gone for.
Tom Fellows actually could be a really good signing.
Eriksen.
player.
He's actually a really good
Actually, hear me out. I don't hate this. Benteke.
Fuck off. Shut up.
He just won the MLS Golden Boot.
No.
23 goals.
No.
30
Tom Fellows.
appearances.
Tom Fellows fat.
He's a big old lump up front.
He'll be
This is
getting
on the
bigger wages. in
If they
MLS.
don't have any money, then go and ask DC United
For a loan.
who he plays for a team that are always losing. 10.8 aerials and 90 is huge. He's just
Great.
He's currently on form, getting back in the Prem. This is a short fix to their striking options. I'm
You
happy
can
to lose
you
this
can
one.
pretty
Tom
much
Fellows.
get you can pretty much get like a nothing loan of an MLS
You
player.
could, yeah. You could get more.
Benteke is in form right now. Premier League experience. He's a big lump up front. he's probably
Evan
Beto
Ferguson.
is one of the worst people I've ever seen in my life. So
No, neither of these.
Anyone.
Dreadful.
I've got-
Yeah, so Zach
Mine
does-
is anyone.
Zach says anyone, so he does technically win the round, I guess.
I'll win it. I'll win it.
No, because we're not signing Benteke. We're absolutely not doing that. Yeah, I would go to all the kind of. I would see how much
Genuinely.
money you've got and go to every distressed club,
Yeah.
and also just go around all the big clubs and be like,
Who can
please,
get on loan?
please.
Who can get
Like
on loan?
Chelsea, who will you loan us? Will you loan us Carney? We'll take him.
We get Mudryk.
Like, will you loan it?
See what happens.
Okay, but could you? You could probably loan. You could probably
Carney,
loan,
yeah,
like,
Carney's one. Dewsbury Hall. One of the youngsters, Tyreek
Hall.
George.
Dewsbury Hall, I
Tyreek George is a
actually
really good winger.
Benteke.
Dewsbury Hall, I actually think would be pretty good.
Everton,
Pretty good. Yeah. But
All right, Dewsbury Hall. There you go.
You don't need to fight this much. I think you won.
You won, Adam.
Did I win?
Yeah, you won. Yeah.
Wow.
You won 9-5, 9-5.
Well, I'm going to take
What
the
a way to make a
I'm
living.
taking the Everton one with my any suggestion, so 9-6. 9-6.
Okay, fine.
You did get 2 half points for absolute pity from Pat. So
Yeah, that was actually. I'd take those back. you win 8-6.
so there we have it. Those are our suggestions. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one before the new year. As I said, hope you guys had a very good Christmas. And if you don't celebrate it, hope you had a good end of December. Henry, what are you doing? And where can they find
What
you?
are you doing?
What? As in work-wise or
Right now.
Whatever you want them to go and find
I
you.
am still at Football Joe, so please go and subscribe to that and watch it if you haven't already. It'll really help my cause at work.
Fantastic.
I'm
Patrick
still
Van
at Football
Straaten.
Joe. It implies
sounded
for
depressed.
now. Do that. And pre-order my wife's book for Christmas. This Immaculate Body in the UK and Commonwealth. In North America, it's Creep: A Love Story by Emma Van Straaten. You should know how to spell my surname by now. What else? The Transfer Flow. That's still a thing. You can follow us on YouTube. You can listen to it on your favorite podcast app. Unseen Incidents, that's my podcast with Pete Dorman. You can find that on your favorite podcast app too.
Fantastic. There you go, guys. Get in the comments below. Leave a like as well. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week.